Hello, everyone. On this edition of Beyond the Stage, I'm visiting with recording artist, member of the Ohio Country Music Hall of Fame, and longtime sideman for George Jones and Johnny Paycheck, Don Adams. I'll talk with Don about his career in music and playing on the biggest stages in the business after this. Beyond the Stage is made possible in part by Southern State Community College's Truck Driving Academy, where you can be behind the wheel of a big rig in as soon as 4 weeks. Call 937-393-3431 to find out how. And now, Beyond the Stage. Hi, everybody. I'm Herb Day, and this is Beyond the Stage. And today, I'm privileged to have with me what I consider one of the true legends in country music, Don Adams. Don is from Greenfield, Ohio, and anywhere you go, any place where music is being played, you mention the Adams Boys, and everybody goes,
They run.
They go, oh my. Don, it's good to see you,
Same
buddy.
here. Thank you.
Oh,
That reminds me of a story.
well, that's what I'm here for.
Me and myself, Gary, my brother, and Arnie, my brother, and Buddy Emmons,
Yeah.
steel player, got tapped by Jimmy Dickens to play, to go do some TV shows with him.
Yeah.
So, we did the Johnny Carson show and 3 or 4 other shows in New York City. And then I was listening to Ralph Emery's show one night on WSM,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking to Jimmy Dickens, and he said, I hear you got Buddy Emmons and the Adams Boys working for you. Jimmy said, it's just like going on the road with the James Gang. I said, so there goes my reputation.
Yes, sir. We were talking earlier about little Jimmy Dickens, and you worked considerably with him, and I asked you what he was like to work with, and tell me again what you.
Well, I don't know exactly how I told you, but I know he was a little contrary at times.
Yeah.
But he was always, and he always, if he walked down the street, now all of us boys were 6 foot or over,
Yeah.
except for Gary. But he always wanted us to walk single file behind him. I said, we look like a bunch of little ducks following my mother.
Oh my gosh.
Said, dressed in our purple suits in New York City.
That was eye-catching, I'm sure.
You bet, you bet.
Oh. Yeah, well, you had mentioned you just kind of put him in the.
Well, if he get acting up too much, we just put him in the closet and keep him in there for a couple hours till he settled down.
Like an elf on the shelf.
Yeah,
huh?
he'd come right out of it.
Oh my goodness! You right out of the chute, right out of Greenfield. You went to work for the #1 artist in country music,
At the
George
time.
Jones.
Yeah, it was Johnny Paycheck was working for him, and my brother Gary, he'd got my brother Gary a job playing guitar for George.
Right.
So it turns out that Gary worked for about 6 months with him, and then he wanted to go to work with Ray Price.
Yeah.
So Paycheck called me and said, Gary's going to work for Ray Price. Can you go to play bass? And I said, sure, I play bass. It's what I do.
Yeah.
And so I took the job playing bass and singing harmony for George Jones, my very first job.
Wow. Wow. Now, you played some pretty large venues with George.
Oh my.
I mean, New York, it was.
Played Madison Square Garden.
Did you?
Yeah. Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah. How large were the crowds?
15,000, 20,000.
My goodness.
Played a lot of shows back then with Johnny Cash. And George Jones and Johnny Cash would draw huge crowds.
Yes, yes.
State fairs would be 20, 30,000 people.
Right, right. Well, now, of course, they called you sideman
Yeah.
back in the day, and being a sideman, did you get to socialize much with the other stars like Johnny Cash and
Well,
people like
yeah,
that?
and the way we had to socialize because we were the backup band.
Oh, you were the
If we
backup.
were playing a package show that had, say, maybe Loretta Lynn and Minnie Pearl
Right.
and somebody else, then we had to back up everybody
Yeah.
before George came on.
Yeah. You talk about Loretta Lynn. I spoke with Dave Thornhill not too long
Yeah.
ago, and of course they're out now doing the Loretta Lynn tribute, always Loretta, and so it's amazing how you get it in your blood.
It won't go away.
It doesn't, does it?
No, never.
We walked into his house. There, he lives in Manchester, Tennessee, and he has a guitar in every room, and each one of them probably was more expensive than my car. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So you worked for George, and you backed up the other artists. Did you back up Cash? Did Cash have his own
Cash
band?
had his own band.
He had the Tennessee Three.
They didn't back anybody up, just Cash, that was it.
Yeah.
But we had steel guitar and fiddle and everything, so we had a country band.
Yes. And then after George, now you played for Ray Price for a while, didn't you?
No, I never got to work for Ray.
Oh, you didn't work for Ray?
That's the one thing I regret, that I never got to sing harmony with Ray Price. I sang harmony with everybody else,
Yeah.
but I never got to sing with Ray Price.
How was George to work with? You notice I asked that with a straight face.
Well, I can't answer it with a
Straight face?
No. Sometimes he was real good and sometimes he was real bad.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes he just wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
And if he did show up, there'd be once in a while he'd be backstage, and he'd be giving he'd come out just far enough to where he could give him the bird, and then walk and wouldn't come out. I'd introduce him, he wouldn't come out.
Really?
Yeah.
So No Show Jones actually showed, but not really.
Not there, George. Not
So what would
tonight.
you do in a case like that,
Well,
George?
you just go ahead and play until you can't play no more, and then just tell the people they can have their money back.
Is that right?
Seen it happen a lot of times.
Is that right? So does the band get paid?
Oh yeah, we were on salary. We got paid regardless.
Yeah. So it's George's loss then.
Then, like I said, we played. We back up maybe Loretta, and it wasn't a big job backing up Minnie.
Yeah.
But Loretta, she always come out, and then she'd do a little dance at the end of it, where she'd kick her shoes off.
Yeah.
But I sat down and figured up one day I was going to write down all the people we backed up from B.J. Thomas to Loretta and to people that you'd never heard of them. I had 3 or 4 full pages of
Is that
names.
right?
Roy Orbison.
You backed up Roy?
Just at a set one night, he's come and set in.
Yeah.
Merle Haggard worked for Merle.
Yeah.
We worked for Merle for about 6 weeks.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How was he to work with?
He was good.
Yeah.
He wanted to move back to California with him, and I said, "How many dates you got booked, George or Merle?" And he said, "Well, I'll tell you what I can do, Don." He said, "I'll give you $20 a day. Right now, I've only got 1 day booked." I said, "I think I'll just hang around the house."
You were still living in Greenfield at
Yep.
the time.
Always, yes.
That was home base.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times you'd go out on the road and you'd be gone how long before you'd see home?
Sometimes 25, 30 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if we played Vegas, it was automatic 28 days.
Yeah.
But we'd take tours to go from here, say Nashville, we'd go to California and up the coast, and then into Canada, and then back all the way back across Canada
Yeah.
in a car.
In a car. Wow. How was life on the road?
I don't know, so young, it was just fun.
It was fun then? Yeah.
Well, you had guys that like-minded, they were guys that shared your same kind of humor and everything, so
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
How was their own family life?
it's pretty rough on the family.
Yeah,
Pretty rough.
yeah, when you're gone 28 days at a time.
Yeah.
That's
And then
pretty
turn around and come home for 3 days and go back out for another 10.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was hard on them, hard on them.
Is it a lot different today for the for those who are on the road?
Yes. They all traveled in buses.
Yeah,
Now, when I was with Paycheck, we had a bus, and when I was with Herman Husky, we had a bus.
yeah, yeah.
We had a bus with George, but like I told you, a preacher told him one day, said, God told me he was going to give me that bus. And George gave it to him. And he put us in I think it was like a 64 Dodge 2-door.
Yeah.
5 of us.
And that made him so much more endearing to you.
Oh,
didn't it?
boy. I
Yeah.
thought, boy, he's really out for the guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, when the Lord speaketh.
Yes, sir. You got to obey.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't believe I want to go that route.
You
though.
didn't, I didn't realize George was that much of a man of faith.
Well, his mom was.
Oh, his mom
His
was.
mama was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So well, he caught him when he was drinking a little bit.
Well, yeah. I guess.
George never drank just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, anything worth doing is worth doing well, I guess.
Yeah, worth going overboard about, you know.
Were you with George during the Tammy years?
No,
You were not.
Nope, I come home and, we did a lot of different things. Played a lot of nightclubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Went back to work for Ferland Husky for about a year, and it was not interesting, so,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you mean the club work or
Just
Ferland?
Ferland, just not my kind of music, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he definitely had his own brand. But of course, that's the thing about those days. Each artist had a different,
Style, yeah.
a different style, different looks.
Some of them, like take Ray Price, he created a style of music
Yes, yeah.
that people are still trying to duplicate today.
You know, your brother Gary told me that you boys did more for Western swing than Texas.
When
Yeah.
people used to say, if you want to learn how to play a good shuffle, and go to Greenfield, let the Adams boys show you.
Yeah, yeah,
That was just what we liked the best.
yeah. Now you went down the road as a solo artist, and tell me about that.
The first song I recorded was I Just Lost My Favorite Girl. And
But you did that a little different, didn't you? You did that
I did
in a
it 2
2/4.
different times. I did it in the shuffle and I did it in waltz time.
Yeah, yeah.
So the waltz time was the one that I recorded back in 2064 or something, or
Right.
1964.
Yeah.
But the song, I didn't have enough songs in. It's typical Nashville. Here's the way it worked. Pappy Daly, who George's manager, signed me up to record, but I couldn't record any songs that weren't in his publishing company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so if you find a really good song and then somebody says, well, I'm holding that for George.
Yeah,
So I can understand that.
sure.
But Jimmy Day, steel guitar player,
Right.
he never got credit for it, but he wrote the song and he gave it to me.
I just lost my favorite girl.
He wrote the song. I changed a couple of lines of it. He gave it to me, and he told me, he said, don't ever tell nobody.
Yeah.
But he died 15 years ago, so I guess I'm free to tell.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell me.
Yeah, because he was signed with a publishing company, and any songs that he wrote would automatically go in that publishing company, but they hadn't heard this one yet.
Yeah.
So everywhere I went in the United States for the next 2 or 3 months, the song was either number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
But they didn't think ahead, and you couldn't buy it. They didn't print. The only thing they printed was the disc jockey copies.
Oh my goodness. You didn't have distribution.
None at all.
That's the way to start somebody out.
Well, they did a pretty good job on me.
Yeah. Now you were with Atlantic, right?
Yes. Now, I signed with them in 73 or 74.
Right, right.
And I had a couple, three or four chart records.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I had a record, that song me and Gary wrote called That's Love.
yeah.
And I put it out, and it went to 50 the first week.
Mm-hmm.
And they called me and said, you might want to start thinking about getting your own band because this song's going to go top 5.
Wow.
And I got another call the following week, said the record company closed down.
My highs and lows.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So how did Don handle that?
I never give it no more thought, I just kept on playing and singing.
Did you?
And I recorded a song in 70, must have been around 1980, 78, 80, called When Two Fools Collide.
Yeah, yeah.
And I recorded it, and they took it, put strings on it, and embellished it and everything. And then they shopped it out to Dottie West and Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. The rest is
I
history.
said, down you go again. So I put my car in drive and headed north on 65.
Oh my goodness.
So that's enough for me.
Yeah, yeah. That would do it. So many songs that I recall that I just loved of Don Adams. Of course, Baby That's Love, Baby Let Your Long Hair Down,
Two of the Usual.
Two of the Usual. What was it?
And then I Already Stayed Too Long was one
That
on
killed me.
Atlantic.
That killed
They
me.
were all chart records. They just wasn't top of the chart records.
Yeah, yeah. I remember.
But I can't blame it on Nashville. It's if you don't have the fire in your belly,
Yeah,
and I didn't have it.
yeah.
I just wanted to sing and play. That's all I cared about.
Right.
And being a star would probably not worked out well with me.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I said my soul was more important than a hit record.
Yeah, yeah. I have, I too have flirted, not to the extent that you did, but I flirted enough with Nashville to learn that, you don't fall in love with something that can't love you back.
Nope.
And it's difficult to do that. I know, I was talking with Bill Anderson not too long ago, and he was talking about those days. And you never saw things were different as far as what you could do and what you couldn't do. You couldn't write with someone who was with a different publisher.
Right.
Or a different label or whatever.
It was more or less a producer's world.
Yeah.
And that's what I think has been the downfall.
Right.
I know country, they say country music's big, well, most of that ain't country.
Yeah.
But this traditional country music, Gary and Arnie and I got a call from people in Texas. Anyway, they have a big award thing where they give you awards for this or that. And we got the award for being the founders of the country sound.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was not too terribly long ago.
It was about 2 years ago.
Yeah. I remember that. And also, you're a member of the Ohio Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And
that's a privilege.
It is. Yeah. It is. Congratulations to you.
There's a lot of musicians from Ohio.
Right.
A lot of them.
As a matter of fact, it is surprising how many there are.
I mean, there's a world of them in Texas.
Yeah.
But Ohio's just a small state. We got Earl Thomas Conley, Connie Smith.
Yeah.
What's the guy that wrote Paycheck's big hit? The outlaw guy from Youngstown.
David Allen Coe?
Yeah, David Allen Coe.
He's from Ohio?
He's from Youngstown.
Oh, from Youngstown. Great writer. Personally, well, let's just say he's a little socially challenged for my taste.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, very talented. But it always seems that way, that the most talented people in the world are really quirky.
Yeah, and all the, I know a lot of good singers that have never made it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But, there's, it's just a different world. I mean, a producer can take somebody. Well, you take Brad Martin.
Yeah,
You know who
Brad.
Brad was.
Yeah.
And they just kind of put their thumb on him after a while and just said, no, it's not it.
Yeah. Well, his dad, Richard,
Richard was a good singer.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a good voice.
Yeah.
And he knew how to use it. He was a good singer.
Yeah.
Brad was a good singer.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of singers in Greenfield. Believe me.
Yeah, absolutely. What's some of your what would you say would be your favorite memory of On the Road?
Getting home.
Getting home. Right answer. Right answer.
Yeah.
Well, Don, I appreciate you taking time to be with us on Beyond the Stage. And by the way, I want to take this time to thank Dale Martin for allowing us to film Beyond the Stage here at the Orpheum in Hillsboro. It is a gathering place.
Beautiful place.
It is, absolutely. It really is. Many a dignitary have been here, senators, governors have been here. And now, probably at the height of all, Don Adams has been here. And I'll tell you what.
I'll tell the people in Greenfield that.
Yeah, you do that. Well, I want you to know I'm your number one fan, my brother.
Thank you.
And that has
Appreciate it.
been true since I was spinning your records.
Yeah, I'm unable to sing anymore, but I can still talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I like doing that.
And like I said, after I left Nashville, got a trucking company and did that and sold and worked till I was 82.
Worked until you were 82.
Maybe it's time for me to retire.
Better slow down a little bit. You spend as much time as you can with the grandkids.
Oh boy,
How many do you
my
have?
grandkids and my daughters. That's my life.
Yeah. They doing well?
Yes, everybody's well.
That's great.
Everybody's doing good.
That's great.
Yeah, I just when I finally left the road, I thought, it's my family's more important than this.
Yeah, you bet. That's wonderful. Don Adams of the legendary Adams Brothers from Greenfield, Ohio, on Beyond the Stage. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching Beyond the Stage. If you enjoy what you see here, please click like at the bottom of your screen and subscribe to my channel. For more of your favorite country music and the men and women who make it great, I hope you'll visit us often here on Beyond the Stage.